questions or requests? All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Rick, would you say the pledge? Please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, please. Gracious Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this beautiful day. We ask you thank you for all the blessings in our lives. We ask that you be with us at this meeting as we can conduct it in the best faith and hope to help our citizens of this county. All this we ask in thy gracious name. Amen.
Everyone had a chance to look at the minutes of the previous meeting. If so, could I have a motion to approve? Motion made by Mr. Roberts, second by Mr. Brishburn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. There's no more of the second page?
No, that's it on the first page. I'll give you that again just when I get.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me whenever you're ready.
Yeah, give me
While
this.
we're looking over these, we'll run ahead.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Here's that. Yeah. All right, just a quick rundown of stuff. Again, at the end of the month, come up pretty quick in the meeting here, so my figures may not be quite what they're lined up with other things, but I think I got mostly everything in here. So the deposits for July, as per my receipts that I got, was $86,564.87. The county stipend was $24,896.61. Made a total of $111,461.48. 242 total runs. 118 were ALS, 63 were BLS, had 45 AMAs or refusals. Had 11 canceled, and we had 5 DOAs. So the run total was kind of hanging kind of steady around that 240 mark, which it has been for the seems like the last few months. Got another phone call from Donna Cassidy from the hospital. August 15th is the end date for their service that they're using currently to end the contract. Again, that's August the 15th. I also attached the new ambulance billing rate request from ABS Billing that I got. When I talked to Heather, she had stated that we have not had a rate increase for 5 years. It was, according to the increases on that paper I handed you, it's a $200 increase across the board. Mileage increased by $2 a mile, where the mileage was 16. It needs to go up to 18, and then the other across the board rates are there. So like I said, it's a $200 across the board thing, and what Heather was telling me that that's this rate is what everybody else that's comparable to us and other places are charging currently now. So I would say that the way things are going with the prices of equipment and medical supplies and everything else, and we probably need to get a recommendation on going ahead and getting those rates increased if we can.
I have a question on those rate increases.
Sure.
I was looking through the website of one of our, I don't know if you call it a competitor, but the outfit that St. Vincent's is using now, Lex, they charge a lift assist fee. I don't have those numbers in front of me. It seems like depending on what the situation was, one of them was like $350 and the other one $150. It seems like we get a lot of those.
Yeah, our lift assist, or what we call refusal fees, are $100 and $300 respectively.
Okay.
$100 for just a standard BLS assessment, and $300 if you do anything ALS and it's still refused. That's like, EKG or paramedic assessment or stuff like that, and that rate goes up to $300. So.
Okay, so it sounds like that's in line with what the market will bear right now and what everyone else is charging. So I assume you want to leave that, you recommend we just leave that at that rate?
I would say, yeah.
Okay.
So when you back it up just a little bit,
Okay.
on your refusals, is 45 a pretty normal number for a month?
That varies a lot. I would say it's probably close to it. But like I said, a lot of them are lift assists. Not really the fact that, if we get dispatched to something that somebody refuses, it's more of the lift assist stuff, because we're getting more and more hospice patients and more people that's staying at home, and they'll fall down and they can't get up and they ain't got nobody else to call, and they'll call 911 and we'll go out and do it. But I would say that's probably pretty close to an average figure.
You work all night running your combine and you park it alongside the field and take a nap, and somebody drives by, oh my God, he's unresponsive. When we get there, it's like, I was just taking a nap, I was combining all night. Well, we was here, just sign you don't want to go. So literally, we get that a lot.
Some of them though we don't charge for, because, some of them like that, kind of ridiculous. I don't see,
Already calls.
yeah, somebody calls and says somebody, or somebody sees somebody sleeping in a car at Walmart, and then them are the same, and if we do, them are the ones that usually call the end of the month when they get the bill and say, look, I didn't call an ambulance, I didn't want this, I didn't want that, and, what do we tell them, so it's kind of.
Okay, thanks.
Do you have any questions, Rondell, about the rates or?
No, I know the last time we checked the rates, it's been a few years ago, Jim, we were exactly where he said we needed to be. That was 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe. Remember that, Bill?
Yeah.
Who was that? We were right even with that, and it's been a little bit since really, but I have no problem with it.
Bill, you have any questions or comments about the rates?
No.
Rick?
No.
Like everything else, it just keeps going up.
So would you like a motion to accept accept this recommendation?
Yes, I would.
You got it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion made by Mr. Roberts, seconded by Mr. Christopher. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. We'll double check on this. I'm not sure if this has to be approved by the commissioners, but we'll find out here in a day or two. We'll want to get these enacted, effective as soon as possible, so we'll get back with you on that. Okay. Okay. Do you have anything else, Tony?
I've got we went ahead and did this, put some figures together as far as if the transfer situation, what we're gonna do there. We got some figures as far as what would cost us to put on another truck to accommodate those transfers. We've got that here. I'll hand out to you here, and you guys can kind of take a look at it. And we'd done one earlier in the year that was like a 12-hour a day cost, and this is a 24-hour a day cost. Down at the bottom there, we kind of, we might put these figures together, at the $600 per transfer. That would be what, that based on 612 transfers a year. There again, I don't know, the figures that they give me were I had a little hard time deciphering them. So I think, like I said, a lot of that transfers, when they give me those figures, there was air transfers included in there amongst other things. So I don't really think it would be, it would come out to what they have said. But, it's probably going to be around that 600 mark, I would say, but on the amount of transfers they do, I know there's some days they don't do any, or some days they do 15. So it's just kind of a shot in the dark, so to speak. So we tried to put together what we could as far as based on what,
This $600 amount is based, for one, we kind of have to separate out the non-insured and the non-collectible.
right?
And then I assume this $600 is an average of what insurance pays.
That $600 was figured off run volume from last year on billable runs and what we brought in. It was actually rounded up, it was upper fives. I just rounded it to 6, knowing we're getting a little bit of an increase here. As far as the people with no insurance, after we had our last couple of meetings, last week I spent several days going through every run from last year and looking at the billing sheets from the hospitals. We had 28 or 29, I lost my ticket chart in there somewhere. It's here, 28 or 29 runs, people did not have no insurance marked on their, what we call our pay sheets, demographic sheets from the hospital. That's all there was out of all the runs we done last year. Of course, this was 911, which your transfers will be more than likely the same way. Out of those 28 or 29 runs, half of those were probably people we brought in that was unconscious or hadn't been there before, and they may have had insurance, it's just the hospital didn't know at the time. That would be a question for the building company. So as far as people with no insurance, it's not like it used to be several years ago when we was really looking at it a little bit harder back in the older days when Troy was here and stuff. There was a lot of people without insurance. It's not quite as bad anymore. I reckon with the COVID stuff going on where people was able to sign up and get Medicaid and stuff like that, a lot of people have insurance. There is some out there that don't, but there's not as many as what we once had. So that's just kind of an FYI after our last couple of meetings where we had those discussions.
So let me ask you something. Why would we do this knowing we're going to lose $200,000 a year? Why would we even consider this? That's just, I'm sorry, it's stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so we need to talk about forgetting about a 24-hour shift. We can't do that. That's just plain stupid.
Even bumping it up to $900, we're still gonna come out to $29,000 in the hole.
If the hospital would pay $350 transfer, it actually comes up to $343 something. If they would pay that much per transfer, it would be break even.
That's not what we proposed to. We proposed to them, the only thing they're going to pay us was the non-insured transfers and non-collectible, and we're going to give them 45 days. If it's not collectible in 45 days, then they're going to pay us X amount per run. And then everything else, we would not be billing the hospital for. We would allow the individual's insurance to be run through our system where we would collect.
Well, one thing on this here too, Tony, you've got, would you have to have a paramedic on that truck?
No, we can do it with EMTs. but-
I read the numbers right now with just having a basic truck, and at the $800 rate, we're still almost $50,000 short.
$62,000 difference if you run all EMTs instead of 3 paramedics. $62,000 by the time you count your payroll and your insurance. Is that number? You'd save $62,000 a year. If you run all EMTs, it'd be hard to say EMTs instead of 3 paramedics and 3 EMTs.
But your situation, you can't run EMTs, correct?
There is.
That's a paramedic.
But we're strictly talking transfers though, you wouldn't have to have a paramedic.
Well, you'd have to put that truck in a rotation.
Depends on what the transfer is, Rondell.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing of it is, from the standpoint of statistical data, our ALS runs are more than our BLS. So, and a lot of the transfers require cardiac monitors, IV drug medications and stuff, and that has to be a paramedic. EMT can't do that. A lot of them are. I had asked the hospital when she had put all those figures together, if she told me she could get the ALS versus BLS amount, and she didn't furnish that to me because of the fact she said it was too difficult for her to get that. So she didn't.
You call her up again today and tell her that we need that.
I've talked to her several times.
I don't know why that's so difficult.
I don't know if that's a part of their statistical data that they cover or what, but
If they don't want to provide the information, then they just need to tell you they don't want to. Not make excuses.
run did you make last year out of the hospital?
Out of the hospital, I ain't got that figure, Phil, I'd have,
What would you say?
As far as transfers,
probably very, very few.
I'll say what,
Because we weren't doing them,
so what transfers we did do out of the hospital would be the paramedic runs.
Paramedic
Because
runs.
that's the only runs we're doing, the emergency runs, and that would be, we probably took a few back that was like, we took them back to the nursing home, which would have been a PLS run. But most of the transfers, what we call true transfer would have required paramedic. Everything that went out of county required paramedic.
We're only looking at 600 to 650 runs a year. There's no way we can do it for a truck, regardless.
If you guys would go back and take these same numbers and knock this down, so the third truck is a 12-hour shift. We can't do a 24-hour shift with the third truck, period. We just can't. In fact, Dana sat right there, that first meeting you and I attended, Tony, and she's sharp enough with her numbers. She sat there and told us we couldn't do it.
No, I knew that going in. I mean, this was just a thing that he had done for, just like I said, we've got a thing with the 12-hour, based on a 12-hour truck, and you have that with you?
Yeah, but I didn't break it out like I did this one. This one here, I broke out the line item. And this one here for the cost of the peak trucks, when we thought we was gonna be building the hospital, also included the cost of the truck, or this one here does not, which was an extra $83,000 a year to run a 12-hour truck. Just a rough preliminary cost, when we was just looking at maybe trying, if the hospital was gonna help kick in, was $392,362.49.
392.
Yeah. The only thing extra on your cost on that is your saving on your payroll, because the rest of the cost is still, everything from line item 15,400 up, or 19,100 up. You're gonna save a little bit there, everything from the building supplies, 2203 on down, those costs are still gonna be there.
Now, was that EMTs or paramedics?
This was with EMTs and paramedics. It was 2 and 2. It only took 4 employees for the 12-hour trucks.
So what would be with that scenario, what would be in comparison to your difference, like you've got here at the bottom of the page for a 24-hour shift, which we can't do?
It still costs us about $20,000.
$20,000.
Now, roughly. I can break this down like I did this one to the line item, because I went a little bit more in depth on this.
About 25,000.
And still a 12-hour shift is a hell of a lot better service than what they're getting now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, because I know they made the comment that people sat over there for 2 days. Yeah.
The reason I broke this one down in a lot more detail was because it also gives, we have it on paper now, and we can keep it on file in here. We know what a truck costs us to run a truck. And this is also, these numbers are also based if we get the 5% increase in pay wages come first of the year.
Here's my problem with your numbers here. The middle number, projected income from transfers, 612 transfers, based on 612 transfers at $600 a year. Where's the mileage come into play?
It don't. It's just what mileage on our 911s is the same way. We take people employed, we still bill mileage. I just took, like I said, I just took what billable runs we done last year. And a lot of them, if we're out Rick's Way, it's a lot of miles going to Floyd, it's a lot of miles going anywhere. If we're out Bill's Way, it's not as quite as many billable miles, but you still have billable miles that are either ALS or BLS. Most of the runs are ALS, so this is just a rough figure. If you wanted exact figures, there's probably no way of actually coming up with an exact figure unless you knew if it was ALS or BLS, if it was specialty care. This was just roughly $600 a run is what we made per billable run last year. And mileage was included in on every one of them runs. And we do take quite a few people out of county.
Okay, there's two things that enter into this. One, the increase in the Medicare, Medicaid rates is going to go up. It's not going to help much, but I think from what everyone says, it was going to help us something to the tune of a minimum of $50,000–$60,000 a year. So there's what I'm trying to say is, I think if you take the time to break this down on a 12-hour truck like you did the 24, I think you'd see some favorable numbers. To me, this 24 is totally out of the question. So if you could go back and do that, and so we can come up with some firmer numbers.
I think what he meant by trying to do this was just, like I said, just something you could just compare to. Because we, like I said, we ran the numbers as 12-hour, and this was just 24. It was just something we can compare it to as to what cost is cost. So
Yeah.
kind of knew that the 24-hour truck would cost more money.
Yeah, we
I mean, that's not a given. I mean, that's a given there.
So it's also come about from where we've been out of trucks so much the last month and a half, 2 months. I know, Todd, you're aware of the one run. We've literally had trucks at each end of the county, one going out of county and other real serious stuff going on, and we don't have that third truck. That's one reason this also come into play, trying to take care of our people. This is just a presentation, that's all this was. Just trying to take care of our people in county, doing our due diligence.
Okay. All right, well, if you get us that information, then we'll hopefully be able to make a decision here in the very near future, because the clock's ticking.
Do you have a number on the roughly 612 runs that, on the average, how many of those would be self-paid or non-billable?
Isn't it about 20%?
It used to be years ago, but I don't think it's as bad now. I really don't. Not after going through all last year's runs and seeing there was not that many people without insurance. I don't think it's like it used to be. I don't think that number's 20%. It's probably more single-digit percentage.
Okay. What about and I see Mr. Young's here, what about our training classes, and could we have an update on what's going on there? You know, the idea was we spent all this money to make a real nice area upstairs for training, and the thought was that, you know, kind of like baseball, the farm team, you run people through the training facility, and it's not a guarantee, but the hope was that some of those people would see what kind of facility we have, and we do still have the best of the best equipment, and it's cost us a lot of money to keep things up. All of our ambulances are in good shape, and as far as equipment, it's pretty much top notch. Now, we've got all this equipment, we've got this facility, but it seems like we've got a manpower issue. And you know, what are we doing to encourage young people? I mean, does anybody ever think about going to the schools? I know West Washington has a great, not just EMTs and things like that, but they've done a lot over there as far as training for young people, various things, and
We go to the schools quite often. I mean, we And when they have career days and stuff like that, we've been to those. You know, I mean, this is just not here, Todd, this is everywhere.
Well, I know,
Yeah,
it's not,
I mean,
it's not just, it's not
Yeah,
just
I mean, it's
DEP.
just, yeah, I mean,
It's everything.
yeah. I was talking to Harrison County a few days ago, and I was talking to them about what we talked about as far as like using them as like a mutual aid agreement thing on these transfers, and they're not interested in that currently. He said that he's 4 paramedics short. He's got 1 out on FMLA. They're in the same boat we are. They can't find anybody to hire. As far as, you know, like if you needed a full-time position filled, like I said, he's 4 short. So they were running 5 trucks. They were running 5 trucks up until midnight, and they're down to, he said he's had to shut 1 truck completely down. So he's down to 4 till midnight, and then after midnight, he goes down to 3. See, that's one of the other issues we're having as far as trying to rely on the mutual aid as far as like 911 stuff goes, because it's all in the same, everybody's got the same problem. You know, I mean, you can only do so much as far as trying to get people interested in it, and if they're interested in it, you know, it's good, but a lot of times people just aren't interested in this type of work, and you know, it's just something you try to educate them, you try to tell them what kind of stuff comes down to it, but you know, in the end, unfortunately, it usually comes down to money, and they can go do other things for a lot more money than what they could make in this career.
I understand that, but every EMT I've ever known has told me dozens of times, or every paramedic, that, well, at least once, that made the comment, well, I'm not doing this for the money.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because I love the work.
Yeah,
Well, you hear that a lot, and I think there is some truth to that, but
Yeah, there is.
the money sure helps.
yeah,
Now, so what this board is asking today, and I'm going to speak for the board, we're going to ask you to do the impossible, is what we're going to do.
what's the impossible?
And I want you to have this mindset that you're not going to fail. I want you to go on, you can call it a recruiting drive. I want you to think outside the box. I want you to come up with some way to hire some employees, preferably that live in the county, so we can take advantage of this on-call. And we're going to work behind the scenes. Mr. Roberts has been talking to some people at the state level about getting us some help. And we can't afford it in our budget as far as giving these exorbitant raises right now, but we're gonna also have to think outside the box, this board is, about finding some ways to retain some employees and keep these employees. And if we have to pay for their training, we'll figure out a way to do it, because there's probably some money out there somewhere if we would dig, and we're going to have to work at it. So we're going to work our end, and I expect you guys to work your end, and I don't care what you do as long as it's legal. I want you to find some employees, because our back's against the wall. And this, like I said, I know I'm asking the impossible. But I tell you what, we got to try, and if we fail, then so be it. At least we say we tried. And as far as the training, Mr. Young's here. You have any comments about the training? Could you update us on what's going on? Or?
Well, when it came with the training in the past, with the past DMT and advanced DMT classes, we cut a lot of breaks. I mean, with fire, you know, anybody that's fire department or EMS professional, you know, like basic EMT, when it came to advanced, we cut the price in half. our prices are, I mean, compared to a lot of places that put on EMT and advanced EMT classes, is way below. You know, even our CPR and our ACLS classes, shoot, at most I charge outside of the department $40. And I mean, most places, if you go to some place like Kentucky and a CPR or, you know, one of the hospitals, they're gonna charge you 100 plus, just for a basic CPR class. You know, we're trying that, you know, when it comes to EMT classes, to get people interested. Some people just are not interested. We put feelers out, you know, we put stuff out on Facebook. We just don't get any, you know, referrals. We may get one or two, but, you know, state won't let me do a class with just 2 people.
Yeah. Well, what's the minimum?
5.
5?
Yes, you have to have at least 5 in your class. 10 preferably, when it comes to like when the National Registry practical exams, you have to have 12 plus for them to have a representative come down to do what's called proctoring. In other words, they have a state representative come down and watch you put on your practical exams to where they can pass. If you have less than 12, your students have to go someplace else, and usually that's either Cincinnati, Lexington, Florida, Indianapolis, yeah. Unless somebody else is having, like if Scott County has a class going on, we both can pretty much at the same time, we can combine our resources. And basically they'll send a proctor down to watch us do it free of charge. But yeah, right now it's just difficult to get anybody interested.
It's getting difficult to get anybody in any field. I don't care if it's an electrician, a plumber, what, to do anything.
Yeah, McDonald's, McDonald's, Burger, you know, some of the fast food places are even having problems getting people because of the way, you know, the budget is for the United States and the way things that basically they can sit at home and not do anything and make money.
Then I understand that maybe half to 2/3 of the people that go through these courses don't even take jobs in the EMT field. They
Use it for a stepping stone into other stuff. They go into nursing, they go into other things, I mean.
Yep.
You got doctor's offices and hospitals that hire EMTs, advanced EMTs and paramedics to work in the ER at, you know, pretty much, I can't say double our prices, but, you know, anywhere from $3 to $5 more than what we're paying.
Yep.
I was in Indianapolis yesterday and for the surgery for my daughter and, at the surgical center, and about every person in that surgical center was a paramedic. And that's what they do. You know, they don't want to work 24-hour shifts. They don't want to go out in the middle of the night. They want to do something 8 to 4 or 6 to 6 or 6 to 2. I talked to a couple of them, and they make. I was like, overwhelmed by the wages they make up there, and I mean that's what they want to do. You know, they may work a truck for a couple of years, get them some experience, and then they sign ours. See you later. I'm moving on to bigger and better things.
Yep.
So
Yeah, this field takes a very unique person to be able to, you know, granted, yes, you can do a stepping stone type deal to go into another field, nursing, or, you know, some people do it going to medical school, but it takes special individuals to be able to get up in the middle of the night and go pick grandma off the floor, or, you know, get up in the middle of the night and go to a house that living conditions are well below, you know, an animal kennel. And to be able to do that and come back the next day and do it all over again. That's, you know, I've been in and out of this EMS system for 37 years. I've grown up in it. It's the only thing I know. I mean,
When was the last time you had a class?
we ended one August last year. Yeah.
August of last year?
No, we had an EMR class that was in that year, but no, they didn't. Yeah, August last year, we had
February or
the
something?
February is when we tested them all out. wasn't it?
Test them all out.
Yeah,
February.
February, when we tested them out and finished the class.
Of course, most of them are fire department people from Corden, and they're gonna stay at their fire department job, you know?
Yep.
You know, the thing of it is, guys, I said, you know, this on-call situation's got me concerned, by a lot. It really does. I'm trying to come up with some answers here, you know, with, like we talked before, but something's gotta change one way or the other. I mean, we just can't, on-call is pretty much a thing of the past. It's just, we can't, the people won't do it. Even some of you have said, I wouldn't do that either. So, you know, it's kind of a situation, you know, it's kind of like, that's why 2 months ago, I was trying to get that increase in that, and I thought I was going to get it a lot easier than what's been done. I was trying to, because I knew that the hospital stuff was coming up. I tried to plan ahead the best I can, and I was hoping I could get that on-call pay bumped up to where I could kind of see what kind of participation I was going to have. You know, but that fell through, and here I am still in the same boat. I mean, it's just something that I mean, for the, you know, situation occurred just the other night that makes me nervous and scares me all the time. Is, you know, the situation occurred where our 2 trucks were out on runs. A massive melee occurred. And, you know, just by the grace of God, it was a night that helicopters could fly. I could only imagine if it was a rainy night or a foggy night and the helicopters couldn't have flew, what kind of situation we would have been in there. It's a situation that, you know, we got to fix it one way or the other. But we got to come up with something.
Well, like I said, I know maybe we're asking the impossible, but you can't fail till you try, so just try to really concentrate your work on this among other things. I know lots of things going on, but see what you could come up with and just keep working at it. That's all we can ask. Not a good situation, I know, and I'm not meaning to take this out on you guys, but we're all in this together. We know what we need, it's just trying to get it done, so.
Nope, I can just only do so much, so.
I know.
So, go team. Try to make everything work, I understand that. I reckon with what we currently have, knowing August 15th is 1 or 2 weeks away, not trying to be a smart ass or anything else, but there is no way in hell we can even begin to think about doing August 15th with just 2 trucks. There's no way.
Well, we know 2 trucks can't do it. But a 12-hour shift with the 3rd truck could.
That would be a big help. And if the hospital would abide by what our state medical director has said, any non-emergent runs after 10 o'clock at night can wait till 8 o'clock in the morning, so the 24-hour crews do not have to go worry about a BLS run going to Wellstone or whatever else, or going down to follow up with an orthopedic surgeon or whatever else. Those can wait till 8 o'clock the next morning at shift change.
Yes.
When we have the 3rd truck, now surely emergency transfers, yes, we would be still doing them.
Right.
a peak truck, a 12-hour truck is a whole lot better. And most of your transfers usually happen between 10 and 10 anyway.
That's referring back to the point I made. They've not had that in the past, what, 2-3 years?
But here's,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they didn't have that in the past. You're exactly right.
they're going to have to accept what we're going to propose to them, because I don't know if they think we're stupid or what, but we are all very much aware of what they had with their other contractor. And I'm not just talking about 1 or 2 stories. I have had people call me in the past 2 years asking why they did this, why they did that, and this person sat over there in that hospital for 3 or 4 days before they were transported. 3 or 4 days, not just a day, not 2 days, 3 or 4 days.
I would like to make myself clear, since this is being recorded, we want to take care of our county people. We want to take care of getting people where they need to go, but right now the means are not there. So I want to make that very clear with the camera that we do want to take care of our people. That is our utmost priority.
One thing I can never understand is they have a floor that they operate. You know, they have a regular medical floor that they operate. When they have these people in the ER that they know they're not going to be able to transfer out immediately, why don't they put that person on that floor, let their nurses take care of them until an ambulance service is able to come pick them up off that floor and transport? They're trying to save money, but at the same time diminishing the care that they're giving to their patients inside.
Yeah,
That's
what I've heard.
Yeah, I just don't understand that.
We have no control over that, that's hospital policies.
I know, but yeah, I just don't understand that sometimes.
Well, it's because it makes sense, that's why they're not doing it.
No, it doesn't. I mean, think about it. Does it make sense to you? No, it's, take that patient, put them on the floor until an ambulance service can come pick them up. And that way they're going to be in a comfortable bed. They're going to be able to get something to drink. They're going to be able to watch TV if they want to. They'll have someone, if they're not busy, will come and say, you need some water, you need a blanket, or, something along that line. The ambulance will be here at 8 o'clock in the morning to take you back, or take you to Floyd, non-emergency, or non-emergency patients that are stable.
Yeah, but I've heard that they have problems getting nurses or whoever to prep the rooms to get them ready.
Every time I've been down there, all the rooms are all set up nice and clean and everything, have everything in it that they need.
Okay.
They just don't have the nursing, well, they kind of have the nursing staff to do it, but they just,
They don't put the patients in the rooms. They got nice clean rooms, they got nurses sitting there, they still have the patients in the rooms, is what it really boils down to.
Okay.
but I know we don't have any control over that.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone have anything else? Bill? Rick? Kyra? Rondell? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Marshall, second by Mr. Roberts. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Hey, Tony, if you could get me a schedule and a price, and whether, on the classes, how many days do you have to do it? What kind of certification you have? I know that, having worked at Amazon before, and Amazon's weird anyway, but there are a lot of things, a lot of people like to get promoted in Amazon.
Well, Amazon has their own little medical crew.
Yeah, but it might not be a bad thing to put, because they always look for weird stuff anyway. And so, like, even my son, who would like to work in HR, having having that on his resume, even, might give him that extra step. And if you market it to everybody, if they kind of know what they're looking at and that they don't have to work as an ambulance, you might even get Max to take a class. Not that we have a lot of extra time, because we spend a lot of it in front of the TV, watching TV,
With young kids too, it also goes towards college credits. I think it's like either 4 college credit hours for just the basic EMT class.
Right.
It's transferred over to maybe Tech or mostly colleges.
Right, and so, part of that is, like I said, with